The movement led by the Cockroach Janata Party or CJP forced one of the biggest political climb downs by the Prime Minister Modi-led NDA government since 2014. The government accepted key demands, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned, and weeks of nationwide student protests finally came to an end. But now, the biggest question has shifted from Delhi to Bihar. Can this student movement actually influence an election? The upcoming Bankipur by-poll in Patna has unexpectedly become one of the political tests whether the anger and energy seen on social media and the streets can make a difference. After all, Bankipur is a saffron bastion vacated by Nitin Nabin, current BJP president. The seat was earlier held by his father. Now Prashant Kishor, the political strategist turned politician, has put his hat in the ring. If the BJP comfortably retains its traditional stronghold, it may suggest that online movements don't always change electoral outcomes. But if the BJP's vote share drops sharply, many will see it as the first electoral impact of the Gen Z movement. However, it is also true that the Nabin family has held the seat for decades and a change of face does have its impact. So how important is Bankipur and why is everyone from the BJP to Jan Suraj Prashant Kishor watching this election so closely? Bankipur isn't an ordinary constituency. It has been one of the BJP's safest urban seats for years and was represented by BJP President Nitin Nabin multiple times before he vacated it after moving to the Rajya Sabha, triggering this by-poll. BJP President Nabin has been winning this seat since 2010. Before that, his father held the Legislative Assembly seat. Normally, a by-election here wouldn't attract national attention. This time though, the political atmosphere is completely different. The CJP-led protest has dominated national headlines for weeks. Students from Bihar played a major role in the movement, and the issues raised, exam irregularities, transparency and accountability, resonate strongly with first-time voters. The shocking scenes from Delhi's Jantar Mantar on July 20 may have also galvanized many voters. That is why Bankipur is now being seen as the first electoral battleground where the political impact of the student movement can be measured. There are two very different views emerging. The first view comes from those who believe the protests have fundamentally changed youth politics. They argue that for the first time in years, students across states united around a common issue rather than caste or traditional political identities. Many young voters who actively participated or supported the movement online could now express that sentiment through the ballot box. Political observers say this is why every party is closely tracking youth turnout in Bankipur. But there is another argument. Bankipur has historically voted heavily in favor of the BJP. Urban middle class voters, traders and long-time BJP supporters still form a significant portion of the electorate. Political analysts caution that social media popularity doesn't automatically convert into votes. Several digital campaigns in the past created huge online buzz but provided limited electoral impact. That makes Bankipur a fascinating political experiment for the watchers. The BJP has dismissed the idea that the protests will significantly affect the by-poll. BJP President Nitin Nabin has confidently claimed that young voters continue to support Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP.
मैं मानता हूं बांकीपुर के जनता में जिस प्रकार से एनडीए और भाजपा के प्रति विश्वास है, जो आशीर्वाद लगातार स्वर्गीय नवीन सिन्हा के समय से मुझे और मेरे परिवार को मिला है, वही आशीर्वाद नीरज सिन्हा को भी जनता का मिलेगा। और जनता में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और हमारे पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में जो विकास हुआ है, उसके प्रति पूरा विश्वास है। और मैं मानता हूं वही विश्वास जनता का नीरज सिन्हा को भी मिलेगा और बांकीपुर के विकास में जो गति हम लोगों ने बनाई है उस गति को और ताकत देने का काम नीरज सिन्हा के नेतृत्व में।
He argued that Bihar's voters distinguish between temporary political narratives and long-term governance. According to him, development, infrastructure and governance, not protest slogans, will ultimately decide the election. The BJP also believes that while students may have protested over specific issues, that does not automatically translate into votes against the party. On the other side, opposition parties and Jan Sura's founder Prashant Kishor see an opportunity. Prashant Kishor has described the student movement as a sign of changing political consciousness and is trying to position himself as an alternative voice for Bihar's youth. The RJD is also hoping that this satisfaction among students and first-time voters reduces the BJP's traditional advantage. According to reports, the students' protests have become a major campaign issue during the by-poll, with every political party trying to connect with young voters. In other words, even if the protests are over, their political narrative is very much alive. So, will the CJP movement decide the Bankipur by-poll? The movement undoubtedly changed the national political conversation and demonstrated the power of Senzi. However, elections are influenced by many factors, including local candidates, party organization, caste equations, development issues, and voter turnout. Bankipur will therefore serve as the first real test of whether India's biggest student movement in recent years has also become an electoral movement. If the BJP wins comfortably, it will argue that traditional politics outweighed protest politics. If the margin narrows significantly, or if the opposition pulls off an upset, it could signal that the Zenzi wave has moved beyond social media and into the ballot box. The result won't just decide one assembly seat in Bihar. It could shape how every political party approaches India's young voters ahead of the future elections. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ankit signing off for Times Now Digital. Keep watching this space for more such videos.